week I am in Austin, Texas, and I am driving the 2025 Ram 1500, and this happens to be the Tungsten model. And what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to tell you some of the things that I really like and some of the things that I don't like, and we'll also give some brief driving impressions. But let's take a closer look at this week's car du jour, or should I say truck du jour. Because I'm releasing this video on the same day as the embargo drop, I am not going to go too far into the weeds into a walk around or a deep dive into the engine. There are a lot of other videos about that. So I'm focusing specifically on the tungsten trim, which is what I'm driving right now, and the high output engine, which is what is in this vehicle, and we're talking about the good things and the bad things about this specific vehicle. So yeah, why don't we just dig into the good things, because there's a lot. Now, I'm just going to dig right into the thing that is probably one of my favorite things, and that is going to be the adjustable pedals. Ram 1500 keeps this for the 2025 model year, and I really like that and appreciate it. Only Ford and Ram vehicles or trucks currently have the adjustable pedal feature. General Motors vehicles used to have it, but starting in 2020, the trucks and the large SUVs dropped it. So Ram and Stellantis and Ford vehicles, yeah, adjustable pedals. And you know, if you're not familiar, let's just talk about this for a second. So if you're not familiar, what happens is you press this button right here, and then your pedals will move forward and backward based on where you want them. And this is great for both tall and short drivers because it allows you to move your seat further back or closer, and then you can adjust the steering wheel, because this is a tilt and telescoping steering wheel. So then you can adjust the steering wheel and get a really good, comfortable driving position. And again, great for tall and small drivers. A lot of automakers will say that adjustable pedals are a gimmick. I am going to say, especially for a vehicle of this size, they are necessary. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is the highly adjustable nature of these seats. These are 24-way adjustable seats. They're trying to rival the Lincoln perfect position seats. And yeah, this isn't a pickup truck that you can have this customizability. And I really like it, especially, again, somebody who's on the more petite side of things. But this is great for somebody who is tall as well. So you can adjust both the bottom and the upper part of the seats. You can adjust the headrests. You can adjust the forward and the backward. You can even adjust the seat cushion here. So this will pop out or go back depending on, you know, the thigh bolster adjustment. And I don't know, I really like all of that. And then you can hit these buttons right here, and you have even further adjustments here where you can create you know, the lumbar in and out. You can put the lumbar up and down. You've got the back bolster that you can put up or down, the thigh bolster again. And I have this adjusted for me, so I have everything like super tight. I'm probably going to want to change that back before I turn the vehicle back over so that somebody doesn't get in here and think they're gained weight or something. But I really like the highly adjustable nature of these seats because it really allows you to customize. And again, this is on the tungsten trim, so you're not going to see this on lower models, but I really love it. And I want to talk a little bit more about these headrests. Now, in a full-size pickup truck, I often feel like the headrests dwarf me, and that, you know, there's like inches and inches above my head with the headrest, and I feel really small. But you'll notice, like, I'm sitting in this seat and this headrest is perfect. It is perfectly adjusted to my head and my height. And the way that I was able to do that is there's a button on the side, and you can, again, really raise the seat up or raise the headrest up. You can move it forward, so you can see it's pushing my head forward there. Or you can, again, push it back so that you have more room, push it down. So even the headrest adjustment alone is really nice to be able to deal with, because I hate it when the headrest push your head too far forward, or, you know, it's all the way up here and I'm not getting any benefit. So Ram did a great job with the adjustable nature of these seats, and especially loving the headrests. Another thing that I really like about the Ram 1500 for 2025 is the fact that they recognize that people aren't going to be in here by themselves. They're probably going to be in here with a passenger, and yeah, their passenger is going to have phones. So in addition to having a lot of ports for you to be able to plug in to charge. They've got USB-C and USB-A charge ports, and they've got 6 of them up here, which is huge, and I love it. You also have dual wireless charging, and this charging has like a little rubber piece right here, which is going to hold your phone in. And I used this while I was driving today, and we've been in this car for several hours, and my phone did not overheat. Now, it wasn't cool. I'll be honest. It wasn't like cool. Like in General Motors vehicles, I feel like they have a cool pad underneath, and I pull my phone out and it actually feels cold on the back. But it didn't feel hot. It didn't overheat my phone. It didn't shut down the system. And so I have to say, I really like these dual wireless chargers. It's not going to charge your phone as fast as if you were wired in, but it's a lot faster than what it was previously. They sped that up a little bit. And again, it's not going to overheat your phone. It's not going to shut down the system, which, by the way, this is Uconnect 5, which means it has a wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto and phone pairing system. So that works really well. I played around with Google Maps, Apple Maps, and Siri, all of the things, and it integrates really well with this 14-inch screen. And I want to point out this 14-inch screen, also standard on the Tungsten trim. It is available on other trims, but standard on Tungsten. Now, because this is an up-level trim, it also has driver assist functionality. So you can see right here, I had it turned on because I was driving on the highway. And what happens is when you are driving and you are on a highway that is accessible to the assisted driving, you press this button right here and turn it on, and you set it there, and it will operate as adaptive cruise control unless you are on a highway that has the system built into it. So then you can take your hands off the steering wheel, and it'll tell you when you can take your hands off the steering wheel. It will turn green. These right here will also turn green. And I don't know if you can see it up here, but there's a head-up display that also turns green. And the little image right here with the steering wheel, it actually shows a picture of the steering wheel with somebody like essentially having their hands like this next to the steering wheel, and it says hands-free on it. So it is very clear that you can take your hands off the wheel, and that is a hands-free system. Now, it does not have lane change assist like GM's Super Cruise, but I will say that overall the system is better than Ford's Blue Cruise because it keeps you fairly steady in the lane, and it doesn't kind of bobble you between the lane lines, which I know Ford says that they've improved the system, but I haven't experienced it yet. So this is a pretty good 1.0 hands-free driving system, and it's, as far as I can tell, the first time we've seen this on a Ram vehicle. Now, the final thing that I want to talk about that I really like on this vehicle is going to be this right here. This is the first time on Ram vehicles that we have seen a passenger screen. And as you can see, so I'm looking at this from the driver's seat, and it is on. See, if I move my camera over here into the passenger seat, it is on, but it is not going to distract the driver. So there's an HDMI port right here, so a passenger can hook up their portable DVD player. I don't know, is that a thing anymore? You can hook up a game, something using the HDMI player, and then you can play the game or watch the movie on this screen, again, from the passenger side, and use Bluetooth headphones or whatever so that you're not going to distract the driver from what it is they're doing, and that is driving. And I really like that. The other thing is there are some options over here. You know what? I'm just gonna, because I'm small, I can do this. I'm just gonna climb over here, and we're gonna look at the passenger screen from the passenger side, so don't mind me. Ram is probably like, what is she doing? Okay, so you have the passenger screen over here, and right now it's set up so that you can look at the different camera views. But if you want to hook up, you know, your device so you can pair your phone to this, and you could watch a movie from your phone through here. You can look for points of interest. So if you're looking for a restaurant, gas station, Starbucks, the passenger can do that through this screen while, again, the driver is driving. You've got, you know, radio controls. You can hook up USB ports, and you can just do a lot of different things through here. that, again, as you saw, the driver cannot see. So you can turn the screen on and off, you can manage your headphones, if you have any alerts or alarms. But I really like this capability. This is going to make this vehicle so much more comfortable for a road trip, as you know, because this is going to be used as a family vehicle. Let's be honest. This is a tungsten trim, does not have recovery hooks in the front. This is not for towing. This is not, I mean, probably towing a horse trailer, but this is not going to be something you're going to take off-road. This is too nice for that. But road trips, towing a horse trailer, towing a camper, things like that, you're probably going to be going long distance, and this is going to be helpful. Now, if the passenger doesn't want it on, you can just turn it off. Hi. All right, I'm going to tell you there are a lot more good things on this vehicle than those 5 things that I just mentioned, but it is time to flip it over and talk about some of the bad things on this truck. And as you can see, I'm probably just going to start with my visibility out the front, because sitting here with the camera there, you can see like there's certainly a little bit of a visibility issue. I do have my seat pumped all the way up, I do have it pumped all the way up, but I'm still, you know what? Let's just flip it around and look. This is what visibility looks like from my perspective. I will give Ram kudos. They did a really good job with this area over here. So if I pulled into a crosswalk, I wouldn't have this side mirror blocking somebody walking in. So I would be able to see pedestrians as they cross the street. And I do very much appreciate that, because very often in trucks, this becomes a bit of a swirling vortex of a blind spot. But here, this is really well done, and I have enough space to see around if somebody is going to walk through. But as you move the camera back over here, you can see I have very good visibility over this wheel right here. So the hood line kind of dips down, and I can see position very well in this direction. But as soon as you go over here, I've been having a really hard time seeing over the hood. And even though this bumps up a little bit, this doesn't bump up as much as the limited model that I was in terms of the hood line, but it's still just, I can't see quite over the hood, and that over there is a little bit of a blind spot in terms of where I'm hitting my lane line. So I'll be honest with you, I spent a lot of time paying attention to the driver assist feature here that showed whether or not I was crossing lane lines, because again, or doing a lot of this as I was trying to see around this A-pillar, or just trying to really see very well over the front of the vehicle. So not great, and I suppose it's something, as I drove this truck more, I would get used to the spatial relations and where the corners are. I only had a couple hours behind the wheel, so sometimes that's really hard. But yeah, that visibility right there isn't so good. One of the things that Ram has added into this is more of a pedestrian cross traffic alert sensing. So if like a motorcycle or a bicyclist or something did try and cross in front of this vehicle and I didn't see it, the vehicle would stop for me. And so I know a lot of people complain trucks are too big and you can't see and you're going to hit somebody, you're going to hit something. Well, Ram has thought of that, especially in this trim, the tungsten trim, not a problem. The vehicle will stop for you. The second thing on the bad list, or the do not like list, is going to be this right here. And this isn't any different from previous model years, I'll be honest, but you do still have the dial shifter, and I'm just not a huge fan of that in general. I want actually a gear shift, or even column shifter would be great, but this doesn't have that. It has the dial. But I like the design. I think they've done a good job with this, and this is unique to the tungsten trim with the metal accents. I would have to wonder how hot that would get in the summer and how cold it would get in the winter. It's pretty temperate right now, but I do like the design. I like the way it looks, but I just, in general, don't like the dial. The next thing I want to talk about is going to be this. Your interior is essentially white. I know they're not calling it white, but on the tungsten trim, this right here is the only color option you have. I think they're calling it indigo and sea salt. So you've got some blue trim pieces and then this lighter gray, which really, frankly, again, comes off looking white. And I can just see this getting very dirty very easily. If somebody's wearing blue jeans, I could see the blue jeans rubbing off on this light color. I mean, even like if you look over here, you can see it's already started to happen. And I don't know. On any kind of a truck, even though this is a luxury truck, I just don't see that as a very good idea, especially if this is going to be used as a family truck and you're putting kids back here. I see juice splatters everywhere. So I don't know. I think making this the only option for the interior for the tungsten trim, though it looks beautiful, this looks beautiful, I just don't know that I agree with that. I would like another option here that isn't white. Now, the fourth thing that I want to point out that I am not completely in love with has to do with the screen. And I love this screen. I think the 14-inch screen is attractive. I think it's well laid out. You've got a nice little menu down here at the bottom, so what you need to access is pretty easy. And the fact that these are very big, you can hit these with just a glance. Now, you're not going to be able, it's not a button, so you're not going to not be able to look. You're actually going to have to look to be able to hit these buttons. But the fact that these squares are bigger makes it a little bit easier to be able to hit them while you are driving, and I appreciate that. But one of the things that I've always complained about on Stellantis vehicles, so Ram, Dodge, Jeep, is this right here. These are really small. And when you hit that, you get a menu, and yeah, your icons here get a little bit bigger. So if you wanted to, oh, and it goes away really fast. So if you wanted to turn on your heated seat, you know, out of the corner of your eye, you could do that fairly easily. But I don't know, I don't like having that be a part of the slider. There are no hard buttons for your heated seat or your heated steering wheel. So, you know, you look at your steering wheel, and there is no button here for your heated steering wheel, and you know, there's no button here or quick button for your heated seat. So you're gonna have to hit this, and you're gonna have to hit it in the right place for it to pop down, or you could also hit your comfort button and then that pops this up. But I don't know, maybe I'm getting old. I just am not a fan of making everything a part of the screens. I will say they did do a good job with adding some actual buttons to turn your, you know, heating and cooling up and down, and to adjust your fan, so you don't have to go into this screen to adjust those. But heated seat and heated steering wheel, you're still gonna have to, well, okay, it's already up on here, but if you're in your home button, you're still gonna have to hit this up here. And if you're driving and you don't hit it in exactly the right place, that could be a little bit annoying. All right, and finally, the big thing that I wanna talk about is materials and trims. So they have done a great job with putting like suede headliners here, and you have really nice leather on your door with some excellent reverse stitching. You know, you've got some really nice touch points with some, you know, engraved metal pieces, and it looks generally pretty good. I mean, from the reverse stitching on the steering wheel, it looks pretty good. These touch points don't even, they don't look cheap, they don't look bad. I think they've done a really good job in general with the materials, until you get to this. This is weird to me. I don't know why you would put something like this on the tungsten trim. I would rather see wood. I would rather see, God forbid, black lacquer. This just looks like cheap plastic to me. And you have it on the dash, you have it right here on, you know, this trim piece on your console area. So like you put this down and you've got a whole swath of this plastic stuff, and this as well is just kind of flimsy. It just, to me, this trim piece is not in keeping with the design of the rest of the vehicle. So you have these really elegant accents. Talking about tungsten, you've got the elegant stitching, this really nice pattern. You've got some really nice and attractive patterning on the armrest. You've got this amazing looking badging right here that talks about tungsten, has your VIN. I mean, all of this is really good, and then meh. Yeah, I don't know. That just is a bit of a non sequitur for me. After all of the really nice design touch points and features, to have that. All right, there you go. There are 5 good things, 5 bad things, and I will say there are probably more good things than bad things, thank goodness. But before I close out this review, let's just get into some brief driving impressions. All right, because this is a first drive program, I'm not going to go too far into the weeds in driving impressions because we've literally only had about an hour behind the wheel. But I do want to say this is a very comfortable ride. It feels very smooth, and we've only driven the high output engine, so this is more than 500 horsepower. And, you know, I will say, when you're going like 50, 55 miles an hour and you try to punch the acceleration, there is a little bit of lag as you speed up. But from an off-the-line start, it actually does really well in terms of accelerating quickly. As somebody who's on the more petite side of things, I'm definitely appreciating the adjustable pedals, but I am going to point out that the belt line is a little bit high, and while I have good visibility out of the side windows, and the side mirrors aren't too big to be able to see around them, like if you're stopped at a 4-way stop and you can actually see somebody who's crossing the street, so that gets a thumbs up. But the top of the dash and just the overall hood line is a little bit elevated, which gives me a little bit of a problem. I have the seat in the far up position, and I'm still finding myself like going up and down, trying to make sure that I can see over the hood really well. And I'll be honest, I can see over the left side of the hood really well, but that over there is kind of a vortex. So when we were doing some off-road driving, I definitely was turning on the front cameras so I could look at the tracks for the wheels to make sure that I wasn't gonna scuff my wheels and my tires on anything sharp. Last thing I want is a flat tire. But overall, I think this is a very smooth ride. It's very elegantly done. It's very, I don't know, this is next level over the 2024 model, and I think they've done a really good job. But stay tuned. When I have this as a regular test vehicle, I'll give you more in-depth impressions. But if I had to sum this up in one sentence, I would say this Ram 1500 provides a really refined but competent ride. So that's what I got for you. All right, that's it. That's what I have for you on the 2025 Ram 1500. I will see you next time with a new car du jour.